Hey, I'm John with CanCoverIt, working with Dan Ignosci of Comfort Advisors. He's been one of our leading partners in fielding the CanCoverIts, and all his customers really love it. Helps out with his sales, so we're going to check it out.
Dan Ignosci, live in San Clemente, president of Comfort Advisors Energy Upgrades. I'm kind of a trailblazer by nature. I like to try new things. Probably 5 years ago, I partnered up with CanCoverIt. We'll work with David, the owner of the company, and started installing his product as a way to differentiate myself from my competitors and to get a better home upgrade.
How did the CanCoverIt units perform?
Owning my own business, I was able to basically, tear down a house to a point where I pulled all the insulation out of it, and I was able to set up a blower door. I was able to see the improvements that happened as the CanCoverIts were installed. So I got a building leakage number from the get-go. Then I added about 25 CanCoverIts. And what I found was that the duct leakage I saved was about 40 CFM per penetration. Given, again, 20 penetrations in a 1,200 square foot home, that can be a pretty significant change in the leakage of that home. So I saw it right up front. I knew right away that I was making a difference in building leakage, and I had stellar reviews from the customers based upon their comfort. Even so much as to have customers tell me that they probably wouldn't have bought air conditioning if they knew that the energy efficiency upgrades, which included CanCoverIt, made such a difference in the interior climate of their home.
How does CanCoverIt fit into your offerings?
I've broken out for the homeowner their ability to choose radiant barrier shielding and or CanCoverIts as an option. I would say 9 out of 10 decisions are going with CanCoverIt.
What do you like most about CanCoverIt?
Well, there's several things that I think that kind of make them stand out. One is, their height, in the fact that they're not going to be buried. I've gone into other contractors post their work, had customers call me out and had to crawl through attics where other cover products are buried in insulation. That doesn't help anyone having to search through an attic and try to find covers for an electrical problem, a light flickering issue, something of that nature. So my liking of the product is multiple tiered. It has a little bit more balance. It's less likely as we're pulling through the attic and we're trying to pull the hose through on any kind of blown insulation jobs. They tend to get knocked over with the smaller products. They give me a little bit of a standardization. Again, because they're sitting taller, I can look at them and know that they're approximately 12 inches tall, where the peak hits. And that way I know what my insulation levels are. I think that's a benefit as well. They're kind of a wider base. They sit up on their own if you want to, but you can also take air sealing foam and spot them along the edges, and so they'll stay down. Once the air sealing foam dries in a couple of seconds, they're as stable as they can possibly be. You don't have problems with insulation built up too high, things of that nature. They go in extremely quick. They're very lightweight, so it's easy to get in and around the attic. You actually just take the packages and kind of flip them in to where right by the cans, you crawl through, install them. They go up in I know 10 seconds is something like you guys have as your number. It's real. It's not. I think people would think it conjecture or it's sales pitchy, but it's actually reality. I mean, you got to get out of the bag. You got to stand it up. You make a quick slice with your knife to make sure that the wires are accommodated, and you're on your way. I couldn't ask for anything better than that. I know that the installers enjoy working with them a lot better than sitting out in the driveway and radiant barrier shield and taping it together and hoping it stays together until it gets into the attic. They look nice in the sales process as well. They're very sleek looking. The house that we're working on today here in Huntington Beach, the homeowner's totally pumped. They're jazzed. They went my way because of this product. It's just a better all-around product for the installers, for the contractor like myself, and for the homeowners as well. It was a no-brainer 5 years ago to do it because I wanted to have the best possible outcome. It's the best thing that I've really done for my business. I know that my house retrofits have been huge successes, especially the ones with these multiple recessed cans. I know that homeowners are more comfortable because of the covers.
What about other solutions like airtight IC can lights?
don't be fooled, I guess is what I've seen from a testing standpoint, is that a sealed IC rated can or an IC rated bulb with a trim that's supposed to be airtight, they're not truly airtight, because the challenge is the work around the seating of the fixture itself. The lens of the bulb kind of nicens it up for you, but once you get behind it, it's just open to the attic. But unless you can get where the drywall and the actual fixture come together, that's where the biggest leakage occurs. You really have to have the cover over the fixture so that...
Should I install these myself or hire a pro?
Most adults could install these on their own. I think crawling through an attic is always a little bit of a challenge for people, and not only from a balance standpoint and a dexterity standpoint, but also from a heat. The fact that crawling around through insulation is not a whole lot of fun. So I would definitely suggest hiring a contractor, someone who has some attic experience, because it's a costly fall when it occurs. But definitely, if you've got a situation, even in a bad insulation environment, where the whole purpose of the CanCoverIt, in my mind, is twofold. One is protect the fixture from blown insulation. Two is when you can reduce the leakage of these cans by 80%, it'd be worthwhile to have someone crawl through your attic to have this cover installed, knowing that this 120 and above air during the summer is not infiltrating into your house. You're getting less dust, all the other air quality issues that go along with the connection between the can fixture and the attic itself.
Any advice for homeowners on shopping for contractors?
I think there's just a boatload of people out there or contractors out there that are kind of blow and go guys. They're working on the lowest number, and the lowest number isn't going to give you the best result. The best results cost a little bit extra. The interior dynamics of the home are extremely important, particularly in an electrical environment such as Southern California, where the bills are tiered and the rates can ratchet up pretty fast on a monthly bill based upon just hitting a particular kilowatt level. So pay a little bit extra, knowing that you're going to have less air infiltration from the attic, which is 120 degrees in your house, if not more, and you're going to have lower bills if and when you run your heating and cooling. You'll have lower bills because your cycles that are related to HVAC will be fewer, because the air leakage in your home is significantly reduced, particularly on the homes that have anywhere from 10 can covers and above. The leakage is diminished.
How does CanCoverIt fit in with my budget if I'm looking to upgrade my home?
I would look at it as more insulation, CanCoverIts, or air sealing foam on a house that has 10 recessed cans or more. I'm going to tell them to go with the CanCoverIts first and foremost. That's their first thing to get. Of those three options, CanCoverIt's going to be the number one thing that they're going to want to keep, because if they can keep the air infiltration out of their house, they need less insulation. If they can keep the 120 to 140 degrees of heat out of their house, they need less air sealing foam. It's great to have all of them. I think that's the most productive end results. But when you get into a financial decision where the homeowners are trying to choose multiple measures, and they've got budgetary considerations, I would definitely go with the CanCoverIt as a lead, rather than blowing more insulation onto a house or doing air sealing foam.
Wow, I think that's a wrap.